Since time immemorial, India has been the most lucrative market for the world to dominate. The sheer prosperity of India on the back of diversity of natural resources in country meant that civilizational level of wars were fought for India. Alexander, Ghaznavis, Khiljis, Mughals, British, Dutch and French are some of the most infamous foreigners who fought against Indians, mainly for economic resources. The greed was so great that a lot of times companies had to fight against their sovereign governments for dominance in the Indian market. It took more than 9 decades for the British Crown to throw out their East India Company from India. Nothing much changed in post-political independent India. On the back of strict state control and license Raj, only a few companies ruled the roost. Things changed after the economic liberalization of 1991 when India suddenly became flooded with companies competing to get hold of the Indian market. However, the dust started to settle in the late 2010s. Companies have started to pick and choose their sector of dominance. Various segments have become saturated. For instance, mobile communication is dominated by Jio and Jio alone. Similarly, e-commerce centralized power lies in the hands of two companies named Amazon and Walmart's Flipkart. Challenging both these companies is an uphill task. This is why Meesho deserves applause for what it is doing. Namaste and welcome to TFIPost. I'm your host Piyush. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. If you're watching us on Facebook, do like, share and subscribe to the page. Let's begin with the video report. Change is the only constant. Change changes you. If you do not change with the changing times, new competitors will hunt and shoot you down. The dawning realization is getting clearer for Amazon and Flipkart. Their duopoly in the e-commerce sector is getting challenged from many quarters. Meesho is leading the charge. The year 2022 is bringing out a sea of change in India's online shopping segment. For the first time in many years, Amazon and Flipkart are not the preferred choices for customers. According to a report by Mint newspaper, Meesho was the most downloaded shopping app during the first half of the year. It was downloaded by more than 12.7 crore Indians. On the other hand, 8.1 crore people downloaded Amazon, while Flipkart was downloaded only by 5 crore individuals. Meesho's arrival got more solidified during this year's festive season. In the first week of festive season sales, Meesho pinned Amazon to occupy the second spot in the total order volume. Meesho's 5-day mega blockbuster sale event resulted in placement of 3.4 crore orders between September 23rd to September 27. It was a huge 68% jump over the previous year's numbers. Meesho's success was driven by an increase in demand from Tier 2, 3 and 4 cities. In fact, 60% of its orders came from Tier 4 cities. This is exactly what the main USP of Meesho is. Right from 2015, Meesho founders focused on making it seamless for local producers to sell their products. It was a time when manufacturers were realizing the fault lines of tying up with companies like Amazon and Flipkart. Rather than assimilating them in the e-commerce segment, both these companies tried to chart a territory of their own and made it untrendy to buy goods from local market. Meesho founders Sanjeev Barnwal and Vidit Atre decided to target one corner of disgruntled sellers. When it was established, Meesho was named Fashioneer. As the name suggests, it was intended to allow consumers to buy clothes and other fashion accessories from local shops. Fashioneer took care of delivery and other clerical stuff. The model was similar to that of Swiggy and Zomato. The only difference being that food delivery apps deliver food while Fashioneer delivers clothes from local shops to local people. Despite the idea being virtuous, it did not click. Partly because consumers were not too fond of clothes from local shops and partly because shopkeepers also wanted to sell their products all across India. Both these problems were solved by Amazon and Flipkart. There was absolutely no reason to choose Fashioneer over them. Additionally, the company did not have much funding to advertise their business model, while Flipkart and Amazon advertisements dominated the TV chart. Both these companies have reportedly poured $22 billion in India. These giants had their own research and development centers, while Fashioneer had not. The founders themselves decided to do a ground-level survey and visited streets after streets. Sanjeev and Vidit found that local shopkeepers had adapted to the technology in their own way. They were using social media apps to advertise and sell their products in their own locality. Around the same time, the Modi government's flagship Stand Up India had started to become the new buzzword among businesses. Women who wanted to earn some extra bucks during their free time were selling their products in their own localities. They used to do it from their own homes and not any physical shops. Vidit and Sanjeev saw a burgeoning market. Both of them saw the animal spirit starting to percolate down to Tier 2, Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities in upcoming years. But there was a problem. The problem was not talent, but lack of physical infrastructure available to local entrepreneurs. The Fashioneer founders solved the problem by eliminating its necessity altogether. They knew that within a few years, internet penetration would reach the last mile of the country. Sanjeev and Vidit told budding entrepreneurs that they did not need to own any inventory. They could simply earn money by reselling products. Its model is simple. Manufacturers of commodities such as clothing, accessories, furniture, culinary utensils, and cosmetics list their products on the Meesho shopping app. Their merchants choose products and sell them using social networking platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, among others. Finally, independent resellers sell these products to the final consumer using social media platforms. Meesho takes care of other formalities. The model gained traction and soon big investors followed the market demand. Meesho is currently backed by millions of dollars from famous companies such as B Capital Group, Fidelity Management and Research Company, SoftBank Vision Fund, Prosus and Naspers, DST Partners, RPS Ventures, Shunway Capital, Sequoia Capital India and even Meta. The increased flow of cash made it easier for Meesho to cater to the demand of non-Tier 1 cities. Products listed on Meesho are on average 15 to 20% cheaper than on other platforms. It has 65 million active products listed in 30 categories. Over 70% of products listed on Meesho are available only on Meesho. Meesho's services are available in 8 vernacular languages, namely Bengali, Telugu, Marathi, Tamil, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam and Odia. No wonder the numbers are increasing at an astronomical pace. By the end of September, Meesho had 7.72 lakh sellers. For context, after nearly a decade of foray in the Indian market, Flipkart has less than 5 lakh sellers. Meesho is second only to Amazon India, which has more than 10 lakh sellers. But Meesho is expected to overcome this problem in the future. Amazon's profitability has taken a hit during the last few years. It tried to dominate the Indian market by pushing low-margin products like smartphones. Amazon received high volumes in these segments as well. As soon as it tried to take advantage of its trust in the low-level segments by making foray into high-value segments like fashion, beauty, and personal care, Amazon India was left shell-shocked. Moreover, it is continuously failing to capture Tier 2, 3 and 4 cities. These 3 categories account for more than 50% of all e-commerce sales, which is valued over $84 billion. This number is expected to reach $350 billion by 2030. Remarkably, social commerce, a sub-segment of e-commerce, is going to dominate e-commerce segment altogether by 2030. By the end of 2021, its market size was $7.1 billion. Estimates suggest that between 2022 and 28, India's social commerce will grow at a compound annual growth rate of 62.4%. By the end of the decade, the market size of social commerce will be well over $84 billion, the current size of e-commerce segment. It is here that Meesho has the first mover advantage. Meesho has already raised $1.1 billion and is currently valued at over $5 billion. Following Meesho, other big players have also entered the segment. Myntra has launched MLive, Flipkart has launched Shopsy, Glance, which is backed by Inobi, has acquired Shop101, and even YouTube has acquired SimSim. All these entrants are good for India's social commerce market. They are only building on the ideas of Meesho. The competition will only result in better quality of products at cheaper prices for consumers. Meesho is not too aggressive like the other entrants. It is taking its time, which is a clear indication that the Bangalore-based company has some long-term plans for India.